Hello everyone, GoldenHawk here, creator of Ancient Powers and 24th degree High Priestess of the House of Life. And by the way, I probably should make this a little clearer. I didn't create Ancient Powers. It was a huge rebirthing process, and I kind of resurrected it with the help of more than a few people. And today, on the day of Nebt-Het, Nephtys, Nephtys, the first mother, the Dark Mother, and the other point for the resurrection, Auset, Nebt-Het. I wanted to speak that aloud because this is a system that I have been working on bringing in with several channels, and we could say coincidental or synchronicity of coming into contact with some of the greatest keepers of the mysteries and some other really fabulous channels. Some of them are very well known and quite famous, and other ones are really hidden, but a great deal of them are known by others that are at the level that have been brought into some of the more hidden, kept mysteries. And I'm very grateful, although I kind of went through this kicking and screaming for part of it. I'm very grateful that I was brought into it, and it is my mission. And it's my piece, so to speak. And that's to bring the structure back for the pharaohs, the arch priests, the arch priestesses, the teachers of teachers, the healers of healers, and those who are ready to make home. And at this point, I'm going to step off into Nebt-Het, the Lady Nephtys. And I know some of you don't understand my timing on some of these videos, but we've got people all over, and I'm really trying to work this out for the lives. And have patience. It'll never be perfectly keyed in for time, because sometimes it's spontaneous. And that's what it is, living on what I was taught was Indian time. So the first piece is on this, and I haven't given this out to people outside my classes or courses. I have worked it in healings with my clients for many years though, and that is the invocation or the bringing in of the female twins. And yesterday was Auset, and today is Nebt-Het. The myths are, not too fun, and we'll talk about that after we bring her in. And we go from below, or her energy, not from above, because she's magnetic. She's dark like the earth. She's a deep strip of darkness of the time-space continuum. Between the darkness and the light come the helix of time-space. Comes the tree of life and the greater tree of life. And Lady of Depth, Womb of Darkness, Depth of darkness. Cold, deep. That which defines the stars. That which draws the light. Darkness. That is knowing. Darkness. The womb. The underworld. The embrace of darkness and space. Around the solar system. Record keeper. Ancient one. Bringer of movement. Come now. Deepest darkness. Darkness within life. Darkness. Depth of the soil. The seed. The root. Living darkness. Drawing light. Sisters twinning. Dark and light. In between is now created time, space, color, movement, life. Nebt-Het. She shifts it a little almost every time, although her invocation does exist in its pristine form. In the book of the oracles, in my Netter deck, Nephtys was born the final sister, impregnated, heavy with life, and her son was Anpu, who is often called Anubis. I've heard him called some other things too, and he has different names, same type of association, all around the world, from the time of the pyramid cultures, and related to the animals there. But Nephthys is the lady of the Blue Nile, and her stone is Blue Nile colored turquoise something. Her flower is the night blooming blue lotus, anciently of Egypt, and it's a psychotropic when it's processed correctly, because she's a bringer of one into the other worlds. Her true stone is a green turquoise. She is the mother of decay, and I'm not talking about the green turquoise that we have today, because it wasn't available then. I'm talking about the more green shade of turquoise rather than the intense blue shade of turquoise. I know this is a strange thing, but we have a set of dice and a turquoise, and we work with them but they're really old, and came with a gift from someone. It's a soul stone, and it's a personal stone. The Dalai Lama is said to carry a piece of turquoise for each one of his people, that he may work healings and stay connected with each one of his people. A combination of turquoise and carnelian, turquoise and red jasper, turquoise and red coral is found all over the world. And this is a squash blossom by Effie. And these are the two sisters together. And the shapes and the flower pieces of the combination is actually correct. From here, as much as it was from there then. Nephthys was said to, in mythologic belief structures from dynastic Egypt, that she had an affair with her sister's husband, the twin Osiris, and was impregnated behind Isis's back, and that she had Anubis, and she abandoned him completely, and he became the keeper of the way to Isis, and all kinds of jealousy came forth, and Set tossed her to his men and abused her, and here we are in the middle of the ugly myths and an incorrect energetic for humanity, which keeps everybody trapped and keeps emotional stuff going all over the place. And Nebt-Het came in pregnant, impregnated by Asar in his wholeness, so by Heru also, and by Set also, and she was the sister who held the seed because she was the darkness and the germinator. And Set has her child here later, and she's actually just having them now because as Anubis, Anpu shows us the way through the underworld with the connection with Asar, and Heru's with him, the two sons who make a wholeness together. There's a keeper of the Christ codes, and Yeshua was resurrected. He's an Asar, he's a Heru. And the awakening of these codes are what we're going through right now. But the function of Nebt-Het is that of solace. And she is the lady of the vessel, the bowl. And any of you who've done any bowl work or understand how that particular vessel works in sonics, you'll get that. And it's kind of experiential to understand that. But she catches her tears inside the vessel, and the chem, or the frequency of the tear, it sustains through the darkness. And she's the keeper of all things that spring up that are green and living, flowers, trees, and actually the body of man. Womb, man, also. All things that go into death and decay. And she's fabulous. She's beyond Gaia. She is the consciousness of this magnetic. She is a portion of a wholeness, whole unto herself, like part of a great streaming, I say mystery, but the different consciousness of the other dimensions. Very anciently, before the twins returned, they were here to begin with. And Nephthys was the dark mother, the dark skull, and her great temple was actually sunk off the coast of Florida. And the skull in her temple has caused all kinds of havoc because she shifts into the other realms, and she caused a lot of mysterious occurrences in the Bermuda Triangle. They took her skull out a while ago. No one knew what happened to it. There are some people who know now. I know now. She's the Dark Skull. And she is the mate of Einstein, one stone, and he's the great male's clear quartz crystal skull. And I have been honored enough to have a couple sessions and meetings with Einstein, and he does talk to me. He doesn't speak to his keeper. That's like with a cat. You're my thumbs. Her mission is to keep him, and I understand how she received him. And I brought in sapphires and rubies and emeralds, big thumbnail size one. She was like telling the story of it. I go, oh yeah, I got some in my car. So I brought him in and from my grid work. And I have a skull that was coded through the Einstein skulls. And it's not real big. It didn't need to be. Einstein's big. And this is like, you know, my little satellite. This isn't where the movie's coming from, but it's where it's showing in my place. Actually, it's more than showing, but interactive energy. When Nebt-Het showed up, I actually was one of the first, like, let's say, dozen people called into connection with the movement of the skull, and was brought in to work some healings. Her power's super intense, and not going to anyone else's personal stories, but once I had done the work that I needed to do, once I did my part of it, my piece of it, and was starting to do some work on one of my longtime sisters on this path, she paid me a visit in her greater form from the skull itself. And everything warped in the room I was working in. It was like this huge shadow was in the door. I thought my nephew had opened the door and was coming in. And I'm like, hey, I'm working. And he's like, not there. And the door of the room hadn't opened. It was a different door. And codes shot out all around the room. And everything started warp. I kept working. I knew it was correct. That person who was on the table went into a deeper trance than I'd probably ever seen her go before. And I have no idea how long we were working. I didn't feel like I was in the room. I felt like I was inside the skull. And the color on this is the indigo, which actually brings in the other color of the turquoise and teal, the shades, and it's a different octave than the chakras that we normally work with. But I've been working with this octave for a long time, so I moved through it, and once it did come to completion, my dark sister got up off the table And she was like, whoa, what was that? I know something great happened, but she was completely in trance. And she's actually got a lot more light than I do, perhaps. But it took me like 10 minutes, probably, maybe 15, to hear Nephthys. And she spoke to me and gave me the information I needed and a completely new way of working. Very grateful that we continue to stretch, to grow, to change. And I'm waiting for her physical piece, although I don't really need it. I do like to have them. Sometimes the touchstone and learn it on the frequency and vibration. And then they stream in. And it's like, he has 10 other skulls that he's been working with in my grid that have just been like downloading and gridding and shifting. And I'd like to bring the Dark Mother in on that touchstone piece. But once I'm done with it, I'll probably have a piece about this big. And the rest will go to who they need to go to next for them to be taught, to teach, to grid, to interact. But the Dark Mother, the Lady of Solace, she's here. And we've created the point of resurrection. And this year is the 25th of July, which is the 5th day. Like I said, it shifts calendarically what day phases in, what day phases out. These are lunar gates, and we've got a lot of eclipses this year and supermoons. It's a little shifted, but the energy of the resurrection is what's going on. And actually, I have family birthdays tomorrow. So I won't be back for a day or two. I love you all. And if you're ready to connect, if you're ready to get the same results I've gotten my other students, my other clients, PM me and we'll talk. Like I said, I'm creating the new piece for the Indigos, and there's some advanced people coming in here. I am so grateful to see you. I've been like, where are they? Where's the next generation? Where are they? I know they're here. And Hathor told me she'd sent out for the sons of the suns and the daughters of the sun. And here we are, coming and coming. Just from virtual reality. Nebt-Het. Has had the child. You are of the lineage, or you wouldn't be here. And that lineage, it's not about race or countries or governments. It is about the integrative one as humanity that has been hammered asunder, killed, chased, separated, and turned against one another. It is about our unification. It is about our coming back together. And deciding that we can be responsible. We can be responsible. We do not need a government or a church to decree how we connect with Source and how we take care of the great parents, raise our families, or take care of our Earth. PM me. I have the structure that will support the shifts that you're going through. And I have a great deal of the rest of the information that you need. Blessings in Nephthys. I'll be speaking with you again in a couple days.